What a wild end to May. We need to take a look at the stock market to see what exactly we're set up for June, which could actually be a pretty big month for us. These next 2, maybe even 3 weeks now could be pretty darn extraordinary, pretty darn exciting. We'll have to look and see what is coming our way. I'm going to show you the charts in this video. If you guys want to see more of my analyses, check out the link in the description for the Discord. 50% off when you use code word doctor. I'll tell you more about that later. In the meantime, let me pop this up here for you. We're going to go to actually the chart for QQQ. And what I want to look at, I'm going to take down the EMAs that are on here. We'll just bring up the candlesticks. And I want to show you the sort of move that we made going all the way. How far do we actually make it up throughout the month of May? Be a good, nice way to say that. So if we actually find April the 30th and find the closing price, and we can go to the closing price for May, we actually finished 9.18% up for the month of May. Another way that we could do that is to go out to the monthly chart. Let me reset the view for you and then put my cursor right here. 9.18%, like I said, from this previous month. Now, if we go all the way from the trough of this thing all the way up to the peak, when we do that measurement, man, that's really incredible to see from bottom to top where we went for that 30% difference from where we're at in the bottom in April to the top that we had in May. So, oh my goodness, that was quite a movement. But more near term now, what are we looking at? Well, let's bring up for you the technicals on this thing. We'll put up some of the lines that I have drawn on here for you and some of the things that I think are worth looking at. First of all, we're still down below this pretty heavy resistance that we have up above. Got one day that we got to celebrate by being up above it, and it was like, never mind, I'm going to sell. Today it started off being like, hey, you know what? Today's probably going to be pretty crappy too. It sold down until it hit the 38.2, which happens to be at 513.15, and then just took off like a rocket ship. Now, mind you, it closed this little gap that we actually had back here, this little tiny itty bitty gap. If I move this up here so that you can see it, these two tails, we had a gap. That gap happened to close by this candle coming back down here, and then we had pretty much a V shape coming out of that. If we shrink this down, and I'll reset the view again so we can take a look. There you go. Look at that trip that we took on this for the QQQ track and the NASDAQ 100. Just absolutely V'd that thing out. Well, it actually landed us in pretty darn good shape, a pretty good setup, leading us into what we could potentially have for June. Now, mind you, is this a sell in May and go away type of event? And maybe, I guess, if resistance holds out, maybe the market sells. We'll see, but we do have labor reports coming up next week. They're going to be absolutely critical. The week after that is when we have the whole Trump appeal with the tariffs going on, where the reporting has to happen between June 5th and June 9th, and then the week after that gets into the Fed meeting. So if the labor market data ends up being a whole lot of nothing, we could actually be in really, really good shape. So we should absolutely be on the lookout for that. So I do want to jump over to SPY, and we'll bring up the technicals on this one. We'll also take a look at the monthly performance as well. As a matter of fact, we'll do that. We'll go right to the monthly chart on this, and I'll put my cursor over that month. And we got about 6.25% up from April to May. And if I reset the view when we check out where we went from trough to peak on this thing, take down the technicals again so we can see a little bit more of it. There we go. Put that in the center of your screen and go all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. We still up over 23.5% for the S&P 500 from where we bottomed out in April until where we got to by the time the end of May, the last trading day of May came around for us. That's really incredible return-wise to watch that take place. Puts us back in line that potentially we start to revisit all-time highs. We still need to watch out, be fearful for the double peak if we do revisit them without breaking them, because that could lead us to a further sell. And well, that's something that we look forward to this summer, that maybe it happens, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe we have those all-time highs coming in June. Like, I think there's a high likelihood that we're actually going to get there. So if we go back down to the daily chart on this thing for SPY, once again, there we go. Put that in the middle of your screen. Bring the technicals back up on here. We actually closed up again above the 38.2, and these are Fibonacci extension levels that show from the last run that distance that we made. We've already made another 38.2% from that bottom in April up until now, 38% of that last movement. I don't know if it might be a little bit tricky to just talk about. Let me show you real quick. This whole travel, this trip that we took from that last major low to the last major peak to the next major low, this run that we see right here, we've already made over 38.2% of that movement so far. And that is actually something that it might work out very well for us. So we do want to watch this. We do have resistance. Still got to sit on top of 596. So far, haven't been able to get there, but it is very encouraging to see the long wicks come off of these candles here, because that shows evidence of buying pressure still being there for us. We're up above the 20-day, potentially getting the golden cross between the 50 and the 200. We're going to have to watch and see. Once again, I think that June could still be an incredible month for us, and they left us hanging going into the weekend, if you will. If we do get that incredible month, this head and shoulders pattern on IWM could absolutely play out for us, and I would love, love, love to see that 248 price tag come out of there. That's $38 above this neckline of about 210, if you will, to get up to that 248. And so what do you guys want to call that? You guys want to call that about 15% or so? Here, we'll do a little clicky. We'll find out for you. According to the measurement here, 17.88%. So my little quick mental math, a little bit shy of that, but still, that'd be a nice little run to make that travel, that climb, to go from about 210-ish to up to about 248. We finished today about 205. We'll see if the head and shoulders plays out. I think that's going to take a very strong message from the Fed that says that, hey, you know, things are in really good shape. We're really comfortable with where things are at. For the moment, we think inflation is going to continue to subside. Our work is pretty much done here. We're willing to give a rate cut coming up. We're very strongly considering that to happen in the near future. Now, mind you, it'd be nice to hear a dovish Fed. A dovish Fed could totally make our day. Tariffs are kind of a sticking point still. As long as that's still going to be that, will we get inflation from the Trump tariffs from the Liberation Day announcement on April the 2nd? Is that going to be something to continue to mess with the Fed? Is it hitting the labor market? Once it hits the hard data, that's when the market starts to probably take it seriously. As long as it's still in the soft data, I don't think that the market's going to be too worried about it. Fed comes off mega hawkish on this. Things go sideways with tariff news. Those sort of things can be destabilizing for us. We absolutely want to watch out for those as well. So guys, the Discord, I put my analyses over there. I just posted this morning, put a couple of posts out there. I also talk with the community members over there, share my trades, share my technicals. I'm just one of the panel experts over there. There's a whole team of us there waiting to help you out, and also sharing our thoughts and ideas and opinions, our trades, our technicals, you name it. A whole team of people dedicated to helping you pursue financial freedom and alpha in your portfolio, including Stock Mo, who he and Mrs. Mo put the Discord together. It's an absolutely wonderful product, and I'm glad to be part of that Discord and they're ready to serve you. And then code word doctor, when you sign up for that, using the link down in the description, that's going to get 50% off your first month when you sign up for the earner tier. Gets you unrestricted access to every product and service that Discord has to offer. And I'll tell you what, it's almost inexhaustible. There's so much there to learn from, to gain value from, to gain insights from, opportunities from. I'm telling you, it's pretty much endless. Plus the community's top notch. If you're interested in learning how to trade options, technical analysis, trading using technicals, with the bread recipe, there's coursework for that through Stockmo Academy. Links in the description. Once again, same code word. Doctor is going to give you that massive discount. Bundling the course is going to save you even more. And investing in yourself can really do wonders for understanding what it is that we're saying, the importance of what we're saying, taking advantage of the opportunities that you see out there with your own due diligence, of course, that could inform your buys, your sells, because you have the knowledge to back it up as well, and just the gravity of the information that we're sharing with you as well. So guys, that is down in the description. I do just want to stop by Bitcoin real quick, because for Bitcoin, I said we got to watch 104,324. And as of right now, we're at 104,606. We actually tagged all the way down to 103.7. If that fails, we're back to 97, 98. We're going to have to watch that. Now, mind you, we get a ton of buying pressure. There we go. We get a ton of buying pressure. As soon as we start to get down below 100,000, down to about 88,000, there's just a ton of support that happens to be down here. That'd be really critical for us, and potentially enough cooling that we start to see room for that next bounce, especially if the financial markets move pretty darn handsomely for us to the upside, send us back up towards new all-time highs, giving us a further reason, or a further green light, if you will, to say, hey, labor market's still looking all right. Inflation's looking all right. Tariffs, not much has changed there. We already know what the name of the game is there. So we really want to watch, in my opinion, the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500. They're going to give the green lights to other risk assets that are out there, including the crypto market, which doesn't necessarily need that permission from the risk assets in the stock market. It's its own risk asset that doesn't necessarily move exactly with the way the market does. But the more we go into a risk-on environment, the more appetite there is for Bitcoin. And what the one piece that we're really missing is that filled out liquidity in the market. So the more money that is able to pump into it, the easier monetary policy becomes for us to take full advantage of that, the better things are for the markets, the more speculative people will become. And then we get to see our favorite risk assets, our favorite stocks and cryptos really start to go to the moon again. I got my fingers crossed that we get to see a little bit more of that before that next week period that we get. Like I said, I think June's going to be pretty good. We're going to have to watch and see what happens in June before we can really talk about July. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Check the links in the description. Come on over and join us at the Discord. Snag those courses. Make sure either way, use the code word doctor. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.